Morning everyone. So in the last class we have introduced the system of equation. Today we are going to talk about reduced row echelon form. So recall that we were discussing that if we have to solve this system of equation, then we need to transform it into an equivalent system of equation where the values of x, y and z are given explicitly, which is equivalent to transform the given augmented matrix into a more simplified form. This simplified form, we call it reduced row echelon form. So we say that a matrix is in row echelon form. First we talk about the row echelon form and then we are going to talk about reduced row echelon form. If in each non-zero row, the first non-zero entry, we call it leading entry or pivot entry, should be equal to 1. So 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. This is allowed. So non-zero row, the first entry, the first non-zero entry should be equal to 1. And this entry 1, it is in a column to the strict left of any leading entry below it. So let's say I have 0, 1, 2, 3 and below it there is a leading entry here. Yes, so this leading entry, you can see that it is on the strict left of this leading entry. Yes, so this is the entries with the leading entry are known as the pivot column. So again, if I have something like this 1 0 0 1 0 1 0 0, this is allowed. But if I have 0 1 0 0 1 0 0 0, then this is not allowed. And then there is one more condition which says that any zero rows should be at the bottom. In non-zero rows, the first non-zero entry should be equal to 1 and it should be in a column to the left of any leading entry below it. And if there is a zero row, it should be at the bottom. Things would be clear once we see few examples. First try it by yourself and then look at the answer. So the first one is in REF. The second one is not, because this minus 1 is creating problem. Third one is in REF. Fourth one not. The fifth one is not in REF because we need to interchange row 2 and row 3. And the last one again not in REF because this 0 row should be at the bottom. Now based on these examples, we can conclude a very interesting remark which says that if a matrix is in REF, so if you say it is in REF, then in each column of A containing a leading entry, the entries below the leading entry must be 0. So consider this matrix. There are only 2 leading entries and you can see that below the leading entries, all the entries are 0. Above it can be 0, it cannot be 0, but below it must be 0. So this is how you can remember or you can check the matrix is in REF or not. So a matrix is said to be in RREF, now reduced row echelon form, if first two conditions hold, which means from REF now we are moving to RREF. And along with that, the third condition says that in the pivot column, so all the entries above and below the pivot entries must be equal to 0. So 0 1 0 0, so below it must be 0 and above it must be 0 if there are entries above and below it. Then we say that the matrix is in RREF. So again, let's check if the following matrices are in RREF. Take your time and you will see that all of them are in RREF, because above and below all the pivot entries, all other entries are 0, and if there is any 0 row, it is at the bottom. Okay, so few interesting remarks about the row echelon forms. The first one is, what do you think? RREF, is it unique? Yes, of course, because above and below the pivot entries, the only one possibility is there, that the entries must be 0. So therefore uniqueness hold. But you can easily see that REF is not unique. It may be unique, may not be unique. RREF is also a REF, therefore in that case it's unique, but otherwise it is not, because below the pivot entry all entries are 0, but above it can be 0, it can be non-zero. But interesting remark is, the reduced row echelon forms, all row echelon forms REFs of a matrix A have the same number of the 0 rows, and this concludes that they have the same number of the non-zero rows also, and the leading ones occur in the same position in all REFs. So the question comes, how to obtain a RREF or REF. So these are the suggested elementary row operations which we can use to obtain a RREF or REF. The question comes, why only these operations? Why not the other operations? Let's see first why only these operations. We are using these operations because if you use these operations, then the systems remain equivalent. Consider an example, 1 0 0 1 2 3. This gives me x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 3. Yes, if I interchange the row, so 0 1 3 1 0 2, then you can again see that the answer remains same. It means by interchanging, the solution does not get changed. The same is about the multiplication. If you multiply the first row by 5 5 0 10 0 1 3, you can see that you will get the same answer. 2x is equal to 10, that gives you 5x is equal to 10, that gives you x is equal to 2. And similarly, the last operation if you use, if you add first and second row, so 1 1 5 0 1 3, this gives you y is equal to 3, this gives you x plus y is equal to 5, which is giving you x is equal to 2. So if you use these three operations, the best part is the solution do not change in all the cases after applying these operations, and therefore we can use these operations to simplify the given matrix so that we can get the values of the unknown variables explicitly. Now it's more easy to answer that why column operations are not used to obtain REF. Column operations can give you REF, but the problem is after that the system won't remain equivalent. For example, you use a column operation here, so you multiply this column by 200. Now first system is giving you x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2, and this system is giving you x is equal to 1 and 200 y is equal to 2. So you can see that both the systems are not equivalent, and therefore column operations are not preferable. So again we have to use those operations only by using the systems remain equivalent, and we can reduce the given system into a more simplified form. So let's try a quick question. Using elementary row operation, transform the following matrix in REF and RREF. First we are going to transform into REF. So for REF, first we need to identify a pivot entry, and below the pivot entry all entries should be equal to 0. So I have to make these two entries 0, which can easily be done by applying R2 to R2 minus R1 and R3 to R3 minus 3R1. So this gives me 1 1 1 3 0 1 1 2 0 1 1 3. So now below this pivot entry all entries are 0. Look for next pivot entry. Now I have to make this one 0. So I simply reduce R3 to R3 minus R2. That gives me 1 1 1 3 0 1 1 2 0 0 0 1. So now this is REF. Now to reduce into RREF, above the pivot entries I have to make the following entries to be 0. So this is pivot entry, so this entry has to make 0, and then these two entries I have to make them 0. So I can choose R1 changes to R1 minus R2. That would change 1 0 0 1. Then I can also choose R3 changes, R2 changes to R2 minus 2R3, and that gives you 0 1 1 0, and the last one is 0 0 0 1. This is my required RREF. Yes, and which is unique, of course. So you can try an exercise by yourself. This is the exercise. And now in the next class, we will see that how we can use RREF to solve a system of equation. Thank you for attending the lecture.